Welcome back, everybody, to the RSC. It's your boy Hops back on the mic for this final game of this evening. Another Premier game, aren't we lucky? Here's Warlocks versus Oreos. Fantastic game ahead indeed. On the casting desk is Buddha joining me today and Source on the stream. So the final stream then the series of the night, Buddha, is a Premier game. And what a Premier game we have ahead of us.
Indeed, it's always a pleasure to cast the Premier tier. They always give us the best of Rocket League, as it is very, very high skill Rocket League. So I look forward to it. And as we head over to the stats, we do have Warlocks sitting in 5th position and Oreos sitting in 3rd. So just by that alone, Hop, this is going to be such a good series.
Yeah, and it's literally only one win separating these two teams. Oreos having 11, Warlocks having 10. So that's how close, these Premier sides really set up between when it comes to stacking up in these franchises and in these conferences. And so just kind of looking down the stats, very similar, marginal differences within these two. However, I think the biggest one is goals against the Oreos is 47 compared to Warlocks 35, and goals for, though, is Oreos 44 compared to Warlocks 34. So that may well be the difference maker.
Yeah, to the opposition, it's probably the biggest gap. But, to their own stats, it's very close. Warlocks, they're only on -1 goal difference. And for the Oreos, they're only on -3. And, that's for top 5 as well. And they're just on the minus on the goal difference. That is pretty surprising. And it really complements how close these games are and how every goal really matters. And you're rarely going to see a big scoreline.
Indeed. And if we look across the player stats, these players, we're obviously very familiar with the top end of Rocket League. It can be interesting to see what stats they put up, as we see on screen. Alexi, Kiri, Zeph, and George for Warlocks versus Haven, Yotam, Matthews, and Kada. And I think the player that most of us know is Haven, the player who won the MVP for last season, did some incredible things in that grand final. Yeah, obviously on the other side things, Kiri, also a fantastic player for Warlocks, putting a lot of difference. And if we look at goal line, Yotam for Oreos is that goal scorer with 22 to his name. So pivotal anchor for his side. On the flip side of things, 13 is the highest scoring side for Warlocks. This is Lexi. The rest of them have 7. So a lot of difference happening here in terms of the goal scoring prowess. But you have to say, the assists, they look pretty similar.
Very similar indeed, always connecting to their teammates. They find each other on the field. And Kiri is a really player to look out for. Last week, he nearly got every single stat for player of the week. I believe he might have got 4 out of the 5, or it might be 3 at least. But either way, he really stood out last week. And, just from his saves, you can tell he's very solid in the defense for his team for the Warlocks. But for the Oreos side, Yotan, 22 goals. Just from one player in the Premier tier, that's quite a lot of goals. So definitely going to be expecting some great, offensive pressure from him himself. Haven, not scoring as much, but really putting up the saves, getting the most assists for his side as well. So, either way, whatever.
Okay, so welcome back, guys. The players have been able to get back into the lobby, and we're going to get into this game. Fortunately, joined just before the second game, FF, which means going to be able to jump straight into this game. But do bear in mind, guys, the Warlocks will have 1 game head start. So it is, theoretically a best of 3 right now, you could say. And I think that's maybe the mentality that they need to be implemented here. But at this moment in time, Oreos, they really have to win this game if they want to give a shot of taking away the victory from Warlocks.
But short kickoff underway. Finally, the Premier Tier series gets underway. You see Haven and Kiri, the players that we've, kind of stood out to watch for as the individuals of their teams. But obviously, this is a 3s game mode in the Premier Tier, so every player needs to be on performance. And we do see the first opportunity, but won't be anything too threatening as the players do get warmed up. Almost a save, but it will be Matthew to find the opening goal for the Oreos.
Yeah, Oreos coming out swinging, not happy with the issues happening between these two sides, but they're able to step it up and get into the game and get that first W. So, just to clarify, due to being 15 minutes late of the technical issues, the rules of the RSC is if you're 15 minutes late, regardless of scenario, the first game will go in favour of the opposition, and then 5 minutes after that, each game will go. So 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So just to clarify, Warlocks will be up one game in this series, and obviously the Warlocks had the opportunity to decline an FF, but they chose to take it, which, you know, I don't blame. They are, you know, they are the 5th seed compared to the 2nd seed. So, you know, late on these stages, as brutally as it may sound, it's, you know, part of the rules and they can take it. So it's just one of those things. But Oreos, they've come to play. They've got the first goal and they're looking to maybe keep out that second there, the equaliser, which they have done so very, very well so far.
So far, indeed. We are 1 minute and 15 in. Only Oreos finding a goal. Warlocks with only one shot. You've seen Oreos with two. It almost would be a second shot there, but nothing too threatening. I mean, Warlocks have this game lead, and it seems to be Oreos that are looking more comfortable so far against this Warlock side. So Oreos are really coming out swinging, knowing that they are this one game down.
100%, and thank you, New Rocketeers, for the raiding party. I was casting at Uni Rocketeers literally on Friday alongside Sigmoid. It's lovely to see you guys here. Welcome to the RSC. This is the Premier tier, so this is a tier where there is no cap on your MMR, and teams can be signed all as one Grig unit, so the top end of everything. Welcome to the stream. Do stick around these two sides. It is second seed in Oreos versus the 5th seed within the Warlocks. So do keep on the tabs. Just to first clarify, Warlocks are up 1-0 in this series so far. And we play 4 games in this series, just the way that the league works. But Zeph has put the pressure on, putting it down towards Kiri. Kiri's going to take it away, and he's the man to watch out for when you're a Warlocks fan. It's taken away from Haven from the goal. Zeph going for the catch in that far side, pops it forward. Haven is going to be there waiting. He actually leaves it for Matthew instead, but a better line to that ball. Changeli by Kiri. Alexi put into the opposite corner. Zeph there looking for the redirect, almost redirected by one of the Oreos players into the back of the net, but fortunately kept out. Matthew's going to pop it away. Zeph is there, puts it back into the corner. And up goes Haven to play it around, and Haven again putting in some defensive work. Has got 0 boosts. It does look like this Oreo side is being boosted up just slightly. Alexi coming flying in, and I think it's interesting to note that Cheyenne has actually been subbed up from Elite to play in this game.
Elite player coming up to the big tier to Premier. It's going to be massive for Cheyenne here. I think it might be Shay, I'm not too sure, but you know, them leading 1-0 as well. This is a big start for him, and you know, really stepping up to this higher tier of gameplay. You know, it's really gonna be looking to improve from it, but it will be Zeph to find the equalizer for the Warlocks.
Exactly, really, really good job indeed. It's going to be Warlocks getting that equalizer, and they know that if they take this game, they are 1 game away from taking the series. And so it's a massive win for them if they are capable of hanging on to it. Alexi going to try and pop it up, looking for that second goal. Haven reads it nicely though, but gets caught on the recovery. The ball, they're flying towards the Warlocks half. Haven chasing maliciously. The Zeph takes it around him nicely as Alexi finds that clearance. Cheyenne waiting at the back, goes for the catch. Not the best of catches, but does recover, forcing that 50-50. Haven is up, puts the shot on, covered by Kiri beautifully as the ball is flying towards that net. Zephy gets a pinch away. Alexi catches the ball and puts it forward lightly. Matthew's going to come off the backboard there, trying to play it round 1, which he does so, but gets bumped for his efforts. Kiri now puts it high towards the net. A bit of a double commit happens, and Cheyenne actually takes it away as that player with the ball first. Haven reads the touch nicely again, once again. Zeph now in the corner. The ball going fine forward from Matthew's touch. A bit of a weak touch from Alexi. Plays off the ceiling. Zeph doesn't get the touch he wanted either, but recovers nicely with the dribble down the field. Kiri again up forwards, trying to go for an air dribble here. Doesn't go for the flip reset, so just the air dribble off the backboard. Covered again by Haven. These two teams much more evenly matched than I think we expected.
Sure, I mean, even with Oreos having that elite sub up, really proving that, you know, he's not just an elite player, but he can play at this Premier standard, you know, playing a little bit faster. I mean, 1-1, as we expected, you know, not a high goal scoring game, very, very tight. you know, we could be looking for this overtime in game number 2. And I mean, with the way both of these teams are playing, it's really deserved for an overtime. No team is kind of really standing out. Both teams have deserved their goal, and they're fighting and fighting for this second one. But as the clock does go down, I think they're going to be fighting in overtime unless something is made of here. Kiri going for the demo, could be going for the shot here. Would be Zeph to follow through, looks for the shot, and he is going to go in.
0-second goal coming out from Zeph and the Warlocks. Cheyenne couldn't have done anything. He did everything to block the angles, but it was just dunked on by Zeph, and Warlocks have taken this victory, which means that Oreos, they can only play for a tie within this series, and that is just gut-wrenching if you are a Oreos fan. Such a difficult scenario to be in, but Warlocks, they deserved that win. 0-second goal. They did not lift their foot off the gas pedal, and they just kept on playing, and they were rewarded for it.
I mean, what beautiful Rocket League in those last seconds. You know, just showing when it gets 0 seconds in Rocket League at this level, it does not phase these players one bit. They can keep the ball off the ground, and they can make these bump or demo plays, and they just do it. They prove it right here, right now. You know, technically their first game, but, you know, officially game number 2. I mean, what a way to win it, though.
I mean, unbelievable finish coming out from Zeph, going absolutely huge when he needed to be, and clutching up for this Warlock side. Oreos now have to fight from behind. Can they get the title? Only time will tell. We are going to dive straight back into this second match, a third match even. 2-0 up are the Warlocks in this series. So Oreos fighting for a tie, and bear in mind, Warlocks are the lower seed here, so this W could be absolutely huge if you are a Warlocks fan, and it doesn't look like they're starting off well as Haven, the MVP from last season, gets that first goal.
Yeah, Haven's just like, okay. All right, we're going to take the lead this time. Probably not too happy about the 0 second loss there, but he will find that 3 seconds in. Warlocks now have to play being that goal down. I mean, not even a player from Warlocks got a touch on the ball before Oreo scored.
Yeah, and it just does show the ability that some of these players have, and Haven, so quick to the ball sometimes, doing such a good job, and he's known for kind of that anchor role, the role where, you know, he's setting up his teammates. Yes, he has the unbelievable capability to score, but he's very, very consistent when covering up for upfield and around the midfield player. And Matthew now trying to hit the pressure on. Shine gets a nice pop, actually. He's going to go for the second touch. He's going to find it. No, he isn't. Matthew actually gets the pancake. It does leave Haven in an awkward spot here. He has to play it back to his own corner. I'm surprised that Matthew didn't leave that, as Cheyenne was well up for that shot and on the angle to take it. But Matthew's going to go for an opportunity here. Zeph takes it away off the side wall. Now too difficult for Cheyenne to deal with. He's actually going to chase down and actually bump Alexi off the path. Zeph, though, again with that clearance, and we saw it in game in the first Premier game. Rexo's speed, and Zeph is definitely showing that sort of inkling of talent there. The speed at which he's playing, really catching off guard some of these opponents.
I mean, Oreos are holding to the lead, almost equalised, but Haven with the 1 goal and with the save for his side. Warlocks, they may be a goal down, but we know they're capable of scoring at any time of the game. A beautiful angle, almost going in, but well saved from Alexi. I mean, Cheyenne, you know, he's known to be a very mechanical player, and if he's given time on the ball, he will make use of it.
Definitely showing prowess right now, and I think their players and teams will be looking at him for next season, especially with a performance like this in the league, in the tier above. Really good job so far. Matthew going to take the ball away, try and challenge Alexi. Alexi comes away with the ball of his own. Cheyenne on that backboard, does cover nicely, but not with the best of touches. Allows Zeph to come in for the double touch, but it is blocked. Not the best of angles. Alexi is there again. The ball now bouncing precariously in front of the Oreos net, but it's covered really nicely in the end. The ball now going for the field. Matthews looking for the pass. Matthews with the finish and the counter-attack. Absolutely lethal for this Oreos roster.
Oreos just bouncing back from that devastating 0 second loss. What a pass from Haven down the field. He's going to find his teammate Matthew, and he's going to connect it. 2-goal lead for the Oreos side, just under 3 minutes on the clock. Warlocks, they're finding shots, so they have had 5, but they're not finding anything of it. There's going to be another one. It is going to be followed up, but it's going to be saved. What a save.
What a read from Cheyenne to notice where the car positioning from Zeph and to block that shot. Absolute pivotal moment, and definitely stepping up when he needs to be. He puts it down forward for Matthews. Matthews trying to make something happen. Haven was flying up for the shot, but decides to back out for it. gets the read. The ball going back towards the corner where Matthews just was. He rotated away. Zeph now popping it back towards Kiri. Kiri popping it down, looking for the clearance. He does find it. And I must admit, Kiri's, he's been a little bit quiet after last week's performance. We haven't seen much of him so far.
It's very surprising. You know, he has got the highest stat for saves for his team, so maybe he's just not really finding anything in the defense. But I mean, for Oreos, they're just playing perfect Rocket League. They've had 5 shots, they found 2 goals. But I mean, they've even had 7 saves, and Warlocks have only had 8 shots. So they're literally saving almost everything that Warlocks are giving to them.
It really is some beautiful Rocket League from Oreos, and it's a little bit too late for that to happening for the W, but definitely prospect for the draw. Alexi gets a nice clutch save on the goal line off a shot all the way downfield there. Shayan going to come off the sidewall, puts a shot on target, does play a little bit wide, doesn't go for the follow-up as Haven was there. Decide to rotate all the way back, and there's a smart rotation from him indeed. It's a good place from him stepping up, and he looks like a premier player, you have to admit. Here now popping it forward, going to go for the shot. It is blocked. No, it isn't. Just a little bit too high for Shayan to reach. And there we have it. Warlocks bringing the goal difference to 1.
It is Kiri opening up the goal. I mean, Zeph, great play here, keeping pressure on Shay on the defense. You know, being that last man, great pressure onto him. You know, securing that goal. You know, threatening that last defender. And they bring it into a 1-goal difference, just over a minute. It will be Warlocks who need to find the second goal, and it's a very scary team of who needs the goal, so it's not over yet. Oreos, they still need to keep it up if they want to find their first game in the series.
100%. Haven putting the pressure on. 1 minute on the clock. Shayan follows out with a touch of his own, but it's met by Alexi on the backboards. Haven going to cover that midfield nicely. Alexi, though, following up once again. Matthew, though, covering it nicely, looking for the pinch with Shayan. I love the fact that they were going for that. That could have been an unbelievable finish. Haven takes it up the wall. Going to go himself. Doesn't have too much boost to work with. Finds the flick reset, but finds Zeph as well. He gets the touch around him. Alexi finds the second touch. Putting it forward. Cheyenne beats the ball. Zeph with the shot. Anybody up? Haven is up at the last second. I think we saw Kiri there trying to block the view and block the angle for the save. They does such a good job, Haven, as always. Such a pivotal player of this roster. We'll see Zeph now with the ball, going to try and make something happen. Can they tie up the game at 0 seconds once again? Be, devastating if they were to tie it up at this late stage for the Oreos. Alexei puts it back. We see Haven, though, bit of miscommunication happening. He's just going to pop it high, back to his own corner by time, and they're going to leave it and kill that game. So Oreos are going to take a victory, leaving the series 2-1, and they get it sorted. Can they tie up the series 2 apiece?
I mean, the defense of Oreos, you got to say, I think it was the main pivotal point of why they won that game. Obviously, they made some great plays for their goals, but 9 saves from this side. And obviously, Warlocks only having 11 shots. There was only 2 shots that weren't saved, probably going wide. I mean, Oreos, their defense, their rotation, it's on point. And there's such a crucial reason of why they took this just so slightly by 1 goal.
100%. And the shots for the Oreos side are only 7. It really shows how good the Oreos defense is, and also how clinical they are at finishing the shots that they put in. So, all to play for in this 4th game. Can Warlocks take the victory 3-1? Is it going to be Oreos tying up this series? Only time will tell. So I do think a bit of a car change coming out from Cheyenne. It's going to be interesting to see, whether it's a comfortability change, or whatever. Whether it's a change the dominance perhaps, which is going to allow them to be a little bit more mechanical as we wait for the players to join up. We are going to get diving into this next game. Cheyenne now are staying on the Octane, back onto the Octane. No, changing to the Octane is what I'm trying to say here. So maybe changing a little bit of a card change, looking for the mechanics potentially. It feels like he could probably do a little bit more, but only time will tell. Cheyenne does put it high. He's actually going to look for the double tap. Actually leaves it. As Alexi did read that ball touch nicely. Zeph now going to play it off the backboard. Matthew there waiting. Actually misses the touch, but saves it off the post. And saved again by Cheyenne. Matthew's mistake covered at the last second.
This is what I mean, the defense, even though there was a mistake, the recovery time from the team, it's just instant. It will be an opportunity from Kiri, but that one will not be saved, and Warlocks will be your team to find the lead in game number 4.
All of the leads just broken from Oreos. 1-0, just 24 seconds into that game. Warriors, they have to fight hard here. They have to dig deep. It's been a chaotic series so far due to those technical difficulties. Can they bring it back? Can they tie up the series to a piece? As we see Cheyenne trying to keep the pressure on, playing very, very quickly, being a nuisance. Kiri finds himself the ball, but only 13 boosts to work with. Alexi puts it downfield, going to take it away from all the players. Finds a flick reset, but doesn't find the angle for that shot. Cheyenne going to come away with the ball, puts a light clearance straight into the path of Kiri, waiting in that midfield. Cheyenne is going to get demoed for his efforts, but it's bought his teammates time to recuperate and get him some space to work with to get out of the defense. However, Alexi's going to have something else to say about that. Seth puts a shot on, but Cheyenne again with the save. A beautiful save coming out from him. Trying to take it up the wall, but it's blocked by Alexi very nicely. Kiri puts it downfield. Matthew waiting on the backboards. A nicer touch this time. No recovery having to be made. This time, Heaven gets bumped out of the way. Alexi's going to go for the edge of all, but it's just a little bit hived. And the defense, a little bit chaotic there. It's the first mistakes on defense we've seen. Cheyenne and I think it was Haven getting caught up together. Cheyenne and Matthew even getting caught up together and not able to get that save off.
I mean, even with the mistakes from the defensive Oreos, I mean, it's well played from Alexi there. You know, he's baited out the defenders to challenge for that ball, and it gave time for Kiri, you know, to find that shot. And this is what I want to see from the Warlocks. I want to see them break down the defense, slowly bait them out, and then find their play, or maybe even find demo plays if they can't do that successfully. But either way, they are doing it successfully so far, and that's why we're seeing them in this 2-goal lead. And it's actually Kiri, you know, with both goals, with 2 shots, really stepping up in this game 4, wanting this victory in the series.
Kiri, you know, we highlighted in the beginning, he's been a bit quiet, but he's doing a really good job to hopefully take victory away. But there's still 3 minutes left to go in this game, so a lot of Rocket League left to play here. You see the ball about to cross the line. Cheyenne there waiting, trying to play around Alexi, but Alexi too fast to that challenge. Haven comes off the backboard. Alexi with the redirect to the opposing corner. And Alexi again with a takeoff. It's so impressive from him this round. This game, as he's been so quick and such a nuisance for the Oreos to deal with.
A nuisance indeed. Oreos, they've not even found shot number 1. Last game we saw them have, I think it was roughly 7 shots as the team combined, but this game they're struggling to find one, and Warlocks is covering the pitch, covering the possession with 7 shots now. They're just keeping it up, and Oreos, you know, they are going to be farming saves from this, but I don't think we've seen them get out of their half for quite a little bit of time now.
Yeah, and Alexi doing absolute work, setting up his teammates. He's actually left Kiri with an open net shot to find Kiri's hat-trick right there. 3 goals for him, and right now it is all this Warlock side doing everything right. And yes, Kiri's got that hat-trick, but Alexi doing absolute work on the offense, being such a nuisance for Oreos to deal with. That's 2 minutes left on the clock, 2 minutes 18 exactly. Let's see whether it's going to be this Warriors roster bringing it back and setting it up. But right now, 4 goals for Kiri. I don't know, Oreos seem to have lost motivation.
I mean, I talk about before the series, you know, you won't see big score lines. Well, this might be an exception. Let's just say, let's make an excuse. The elite sub up. I mean, in a way, it kind of does change the way for Oreos. You know, in this high level of caliber, you're kind of used to your 3-man roster. And obviously, for Haven and Matthew, they've got to play this game, you know, last minute notice with an elite sub up. You know, with a player that they've probably not really played with before.
It is difficult, and you know, this is no discredit to Cheyenne, who's done a fantastic job of actually keeping up with the pace and momentum of the Premier Tier. But at the end of the day, as you said, that chemistry and cohesion, we saw it with Flame earlier on. You know, that's what sets apart these teams at this level, and you're definitely seeing it here and now with Warlock stepping it up. And this will be a huge victory in this series if they claim it. But Cheyenne with a nice good touch around Zeph. Alexi's going to pop it high in that midfield area. He's going to recover to it, to look for the pass. Tried to play it around Matthew, but Matthew reading it very, very nicely. And actually Kiri with the redirect towards the goal. Zeph going on a bit of a demo spree there. Getting 2 demos onto Haven and Matthew, but Cheyenne covers well and puts it down the field, allowing his teammates to come off respawn. But Kiri, out of nowhere, finding that touch. I thought he'd missed it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. That just came out of nowhere for me. But what a pass. Kiri just knew it was coming, trusted the team. And I mean, what a finish. 5 shots, 5 goals, 100% shooting accuracy. And Alexi with 4 assists as well. I mean, Warlocks really stepped it up in game 4.
Exactly. This is the Warlocks roster that we need to, need to see if they want to make playoffs. Haven almost finding the redirect, but couldn't find the angle. Here he has popped it forward. Cheyenne is there again. Alexi trying to make something happen with Zeph. They do link up, all flying towards the corner, and there's 1 minute remaining. And at this moment in time, you have to feel like Warlocks are taking this game.
I mean, you have to call it. Oreos still haven't found their first shot, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to bring 5 goals back, but they can't even find one shot in the 4 minutes. But it is going to be goal number 6 for Warlocks. Zeph finally going to find his first goal in game number 4. I mean, they're just dominating at this point, and I mean, played.
Yeah, and you cannot have this shot differential. It is 6 shots for 5 goals for Kiri, 12 shots in total for Warlocks, 0 for Oreos. You cannot have that sort of difference, no matter what rank you are, and that just shows a pure domination from the side. And bear in mind, Oreos, their second seed, and even with Cheyenne stepping up, he's playing brilliantly. That sort of differential cannot happen. They've just won game number 3. How can they go ahead and have this sort of, complacency in game number 4? But with 18 seconds left on the clock, Haven will try and make something happen. That shot isn't going to be threatening whatsoever. Zeph there to cover it. The shot is on goal, and that is their first shot of the game. It comes within the last 10 seconds, and it looks like Zeph is working together to put the 7th goal in. 7-0. The 5th side, the 5th seed, the 5th rank in Warlocks. 7-0 second seed Oreos. Incredible performance coming out from Warlocks.
Incredible indeed. And I mean, Warlocks, it's just one of these teams where if you're not putting pressure on their defense, they will make every opportunity count. Haven is going to look for the Brazil off the post, but it is going to hit the floor. Oh no, but Warlocks do take game number 4 with the 7-0. And I mean, at this level, that is going to damage the goal difference with how less occurring these scorelines are.
100%, 100%, and that must be quite heartbreaking for the Oreos with the technical difficulties, with the forced FF, with everything like that. It is really, really difficult. But in the end of the day, it is going to be Warlocks taking the crown, and Oreos left with nothing but a bented and dented ego. What a prem game that was. It was really difficult. I do know that none of the Warlocks players do want an interview, so I think we are going to call it there for the stream. But any final thoughts of what we've just seen?
I mean, what a series! Even though Warlocks had that one forfeit game onto their side. I mean, what a series from Oreos! Especially big credit to Shay. Stepping up from the elite tier last minute and really did put up a fight. He wasn't slacking at the bottom, struggling to find the ball. He was getting these saves, getting the rotation. Maybe there's double commits here and there, but obviously chemistry is a big factor of this tier. But, a big credit to him really stepping up, really put up a good performance, especially his teammates as well. They kind of adapted and they at least took a game. They didn't get, swept. But, I mean, well played from Warlocks. Such a dominant and consistent side. And you can see why they took this series away.
100%. It is a really difficult scenario to be in. I think actually, if Oreos had tied it, I would say that Cheyenne was would be my man of the match. I think he did a fantastic job. He looked like a Premier player. He didn't look out of place. So massive GGs to everybody. But in the day, I think Kiri is that player, especially with that 6 goals to 7 shots in that final game. Unbelievable performance. But that is it from us at the RSC tonight. Guys, if it's your first time here, please do drop a follow. We stream multiple times a week for this league, and we have multiple different tiers. If you're interested in playing, get in touch with one of us. You'll see my name in the chat, and plenty of us to talk to if you want to get involved. Visit our Twitter, RSC_EU, for some more information for any sort of update. Visit rsceu.co.uk for some more information how you can get involved in what is going on within the RSC. And obviously, you're here on Twitch at RSC_EU, so drop a subscribe and a follow if you can. Much love to everybody this evening. Thank you, Buddha and Source and Vector, for joining me here on the casting desk. And we'll hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. Good night.
I hope you know that you lying. Promise I'ma waste no time. Got down, but now I climb. Said I wouldn't make it, feeling so lost. I feel caught up in the matrix. Have to keep waiting.